What is it about Santa Fe that inspires artists, storytellers, seekers, and travelers from around the world? Maybe it's the light that dances across the adobe walls, the layers of history woven into every street, or the spirit of discovery that has drawn people here for centuries. From the historic Plaza and the legacy of Route 66 to centuries-old churches, vibrant Native and Hispanic traditions, and extraordinary art set against the high desert landscape. We're exploring the many stories that make Santa Fe one of America's most fascinating destinations. We're taking a deeper dive into Santa Fe's unique past and vibrant present, starting by exploring its famous downtown plaza, contemporary art, notable architecture, and how Route 66 ties into Santa Fe's past and present. It's the Travels with Darley podcast, and from Route 66 to larger-than-life origami, we're taking you through arts, culture, and history in Santa Fe. What I love about Santa Fe is that it's not just for couples or spa seekers. It's a destination that works equally well for a girls' getaway, a guy's adventure weekend, or multi-generational family reunion, where everyone can find something they enjoy. One person may be soaking in thermal waters, another hiking mountain trails, and someone else exploring art galleries or historic sites. And then everyone comes together over an incredible meal. If you're planning a visit, consider this podcast as your companion for the journey. Save it, download it, or take it with you as an audio guide to some of Santa Fe's most memorable experiences. Whether you're looking for relaxation, romance, history, or adventure, I hope these travel tips help you discover your own favorite corners. Downtown, around the historic Plaza, where centuries of Native American, Spanish, Mexican, and American history come together, I wandered adobe-lined streets filled with art gallery shops, museums, and restaurants in search of some famous signage. Many visitors are surprised to learn that Santa Fe was also part of the original Route 66 alignment from 1926 to 1937. In fact, the Mother Road once passed right through the heart of downtown, bringing travelers to landmarks like La Fonda on the Plaza and along the old Santa Fe Trail. To commemorate that history, head to the corner of Old Santa Fe Trail and East Water Street, just steps from the Plaza, where you'll find a historic Route 66 sign marking the original route. It's a perfect photo op stop, and a chance to literally stand where generations of road trippers once got their kicks on Route 66. When Route 66 was established in 1926, the original alignment passed directly through Santa Fe, bringing generations of travelers into the heart of the city. As Route 66 approaches its 100th anniversary in 2026, Santa Fe is celebrating its place in the iconic American story, a chapter filled with neon signs, motor courts, and the adventurous spirit that defined the golden age of the road trip. We're road tripping through Santa Fe in this episode, starting in the downtown plaza and heading further out into Santa Fe County. And if you're stopping to get a photo of that old Route 66 sign, just beside the sign is another stop worth exploring, Loretto Chapel, where curator Richard Lindsley shares the story of this chapel's famous staircase. This is called the Miraculous Staircase.
Absolutely. Our story begins in 1873. The Sisters of Loretto hired Projectus Millet, a French architect, to build their chapel. He patterned the chapel after Sainte-Chapelle in Paris. And it's our belief Projectus Millet wanted to put in a circular staircase in this chapel, but apparently couldn't find anyone to come all the way from France in 1877 to help him do that.
When the architect passed away, the sisters at this chapel tried in vain to find someone who could build the proposed spiral staircase.
So when they failed, the sisters, being good Christian women, turned to prayer, and they said a 9-day novena to St. Joseph, the patron of carpenters. And on the last day of their novena, an elderly man with a gray beard came into town with a donkey and told the sisters he had come to build their staircase. He worked inside this chapel by himself for 3 months, never allowing anyone to see him work on it. And then, after 3 months, he vanished without being paid. Basically, the The sisters had two great mysteries. Where did he come from, and where did the wood come from? Because of his description being an older man, they were convinced it was St. Joseph, Jesus' foster father, and that story they told their students ever since in all their schools around the country.
So many marvelous discoveries on this trip to Santa Fe, thanks to wonderful locals and talented artists who share their passions and stories. Take a closer look at the buildings in downtown, and you'll find historic plaques that tell stories of Native Americans, Santa Fe's transition from Spanish to Mexican governance, to eventually becoming part of the United States, and later playing a role in the Manhattan Project. Amazingly, all those stories might just be within one block. Santa Fe is the oldest capital city in the United States, dating back to its founding in the early 1600s. Prior to this, indigenous Pueblo communities lived in the area. This Pueblo revival style is inspired by construction techniques employed by historic Pueblo communities and mixed with the aspects of architecture from classic Spanish missions. It features contoured adobe walls, vigas or beams, flat roofs. You'll find it in the territorial style throughout the center of Santa Fe. A short walk from the Plaza, and we're visiting another area rich in history with David Blackman of Preserve San Miguel.
We're here in the Barrio de Analco Historic District. It's a plaqued National Historic District, one of the oldest European settlements in the United States, settled about the same time that Jamestown and Quebec City were settled. What's different from Quebec City and Jamestown is that this is a little-known National Historic District.
We pass by what's called the oldest house with its thick adobe walls, and head up to what many deem to be the oldest church in America.
Darley, so here we are at San Miguel Chapel, and this is the significant contributing building in the Barrio de Analco. The chapel is locally known as the oldest church, and we base that claim on two things. One is a source document, historical document, from 1628, which talks about the chapel, so we know it was built prior to that date. We think it was built with the founding in Santa Fe based on an archaeological dig that was done here in 1955. The chapel is also built on top of an Indian kiva, so we know that people have been worshiping here since the early 800s.
Mass is still held in the San Miguel Chapel, and inside, worshipers can enjoy historic art, including an altar screen dating back to 1798. Downtown Santa Fe comes alive throughout the year with festivals and events, like the traditional Spanish Market in July, Santa Fe Indian Market in August, and the burning of zozobra and Fiestas de Santa Fe in September. It also reminds me of the arts and culture outside of downtown throughout Santa Fe County, and a very special experience I had learning about hoop dancing on George Rivera's Pewaukee Pueblo, just north of Santa Fe. It's here that I was able to step inside his studio and learn more about what inspires his work through his wife, Felicia Rivera. George and Felicia run a foundation devoted to teaching the next generation hoop dancing.
Lightning Boy Foundation is a nonprofit based in northern New Mexico. We teach Native youth traditional Native hoop dance. Right now we're in Pewaukee Pueblo at our home, George Rivera Studios. This circle he made, we call it Lightning Boy Circle. Right here we have Valentino doing the hoop dance. That's Lightning Boy, that's my son. And George painted this, his father.
Felicia shows me a vibrant painting of her son, wearing traditional clothing, regalia, accented with beadwork and ribbons.
For Valentino, the first time he saw hoop dance, he didn't really know the cultural significance or the ceremonial significance, but he saw something he wanted to do for the rest of his life. So we started Lightning Boy Foundation after Valentino and his sister were in a car accident. Valentino suffered brain injury and spinal cord injury, and he did recover, he did communicate, and he was still trying to teach his sister hoop dance, and he was still a very big part of the hoop dance community. When he passed away, he asked to be remembered as a dancer, and we didn't know what that would look like till it kind of evolved into Lightning Boy Foundation. hoop dance was done in a ceremonial setting. It is said to have started in the pueblos of New Mexico to promote health and wellness. We give them a foundation, and what they do with it from there is up to them. We want them to tell their own story. We want them to have their own style.
So it's their form of self-expression.
Right, tells their story.
2 other arts experiences are located just outside of downtown, including Origami in the Garden and the Allen Hauser Sculpture Garden. Artist and entrepreneur Kevin Box and his wife are the masterminds of Origami in the Garden, located along the historic Turquoise Trail National Scenic Byway, a great driving route you might want to check out on your trip to Santa Fe. Their studio was master planned by the Frank Lloyd Wright School of Architecture, with origami rising out of rock formations and a sustainable studio on site. It's a marvel of creativity. Kevin, how did you come up with this concept in general?
As an artist and a designer, I think I looked at how do I create something different and fresh with ancient objects and ancient subject matter and ancient materials, and combining something very fragile with something very durable like paper and bronze. Sculpture and metal casting dates back 6,000 years, so how do I make that different in a new era?
So many of these, maybe all of them, are collaborations with other artists. It's not just you.
Yeah, I really feel like we're more like in a band, an origami band, and I didn't want to find myself all alone in a studio, working away by myself. I really like people, and I'm a gregarious person. But from a standpoint of design and beauty, origami is very sculptural at a small scale. And I just thought, this is being overlooked. A lot of people don't consider it as a fine art, but if you blow it up and sort of bring it to a different medium, it really has that sense of beauty, and we can examine the design and the details, and bringing it into metal just makes it into a museum quality, work of art.
In the high desert south of Santa Fe, renowned Chiricahua Apache artist Allen Hauser created a place where art and landscape exist in harmony, kind of like origami in the garden. Today, visitors can stroll among more than 70 monumental sculptures set against sweeping New Mexico vistas, offering a powerful look into Hauser's life, vision, and artistic legacy. David Redding showed me around this outdoor garden where works of bronze, steel, and stone shed light on Native American culture and the world.
His first sculptural commission came in 1948 as a commission for the Haskell School in Lawrence, Kansas. They did a nationwide search looking for an Indian sculptor to create a memorial for all the Native soldiers who had died in World War II. But there were no Indian sculptors. So they chose Allen Hauser based on his accomplishments as a muralist.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, and that's what he did. He created about 1,000 pieces of sculpture during his lifetime.
Wow. From the ancient roots of Pueblo culture to the road trip legacy of Route 66, and from historic chapels and hidden neighborhoods to world-class art and dance, Santa Fe is a place where the past and present meet in remarkable ways. Whether you're drawn by history, creativity, culture, or simply the beauty of the New Mexico landscape, you'll find that Santa Fe has a way of inspiring curiosity long after the journey ends. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and look for other episodes of the Travels with Darley podcast, available on iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And check out my other travel resources. You can watch Travels with Darley on public television stations, on Tubi, Amazon, Great Courses, and on my YouTube channel at Darley Newman TV. I also have a new travel book out, Revolutionary Road Trip, Hidden Stories of America's Founding Journey. It's a deep dive into lesser-known sites and stories of the American Revolution. I can't wait to share all these experiences with you. Look for me on the socials, and look for me in your local area as I hit the road on my book tour. Thanks so much for joining me, and thanks so much for traveling to Santa Fe and beyond.